Hey Sarah, aren't we supposed to be in March break right now?
I know, it seems that way.
I know.
What's
I'm
going
confused. I
on?
don't know. I don't know. Hi everyone. My name is Thomas Brown, and this is Sarah Courtney, who is one of our child and youth therapists and a marriage and family therapist at Qualia Counseling Services. And today we'd like to talk to you a little bit about what we might be seeing in our kids in terms of emotions or tiredness because we're not going into our March break this week. And then
Mm,
also some ideas about how we can help our little ones manage and cope throughout that. So
yeah.
Sarah, nice to see you again. That first question, what might we be seeing in our kids that would let us know that they're experiencing some emotions or something happening because we're not going into March break next week?
Yeah. So one of the things I'm noticing at my house anyway, my kids are a little bit older. We're kind of creeping into more of the tween years. And there's a lot of I'm bored. I'm
Uh-huh.
bored these days. I actually wished I could have recorded just our morning because I probably heard that like 100 times, I feel
Okay.
like. And actually, right before I came on here, my 7-year-old was wondering if I had any suggestions for what she could do now.
Oh.
So I kind of feel like my kids have been super low energy these days. And kind of it's just been hard to stay motivated
Yeah.
and interested in activities. Um, and and yeah, I'm just noticing a lot, maybe a little bit more complaining, I guess is how I would say it. And just yeah, the low energy that's
Right.
there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of, and I feel like on like this kind of a typical Saturday kind of day where, my partner and I have some ideas in our heads for like things we'd like to get done, maybe get caught up on some chores. It's hard to kind of balance those two, things going on at the same time. You have these, three faces looking at you,
Right.
wondering what's happening next and where we can find our activities. So
For sure. Yeah.
yeah,
I totally get it. I find that kids are sort of at my heels all the time, asking,
yeah,
what can we do
yeah.
today? And if it's not screens, then it's really hard to kind of figure out, well, let's play a game or do something else. And it's hard for sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It's nice that the weather's a little nicer because we can do a little bit of bike riding and stuff like that. But even that, it seems, is
Yeah.
hard to get them going in that, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I find we try to keep a little bit of structure to
Uh-huh.
the day, not too much structure. But one thing that I have found kind of through this COVID thing of being home all the time, is that maybe one kid will have a burst of energy or an idea of something
Right.
they'd like to do. And so I'm maybe entertaining the other ones, and then vice versa. But I think when that happens, then it's like, then we don't get a break as parents.
Right.
We're just
Yeah.
kind of going from kid to kid and kind of filling in the entertainment sometimes it feels like, right? So one of the things that we've been trying is just to add that little bit of structure, right? So if we're
Yeah.
going outside, everybody goes outside and this is our outside time. And if we're going to do some screen time, everybody's on
Right.
screens at that point, right? To try to get
Yeah.
those pieces covered. So that's one of the things we've been kind of playing with, is maybe adding a little bit more of that structure.
Right.
It can be helpful.
Sure. Yeah. And that's a great segue into kind of that next step of how do we help our little ones and our families and ourselves as the adults also going through all of this to
Yeah.
help with being, I'm bored or these other things. And you're saying structure helps. What else do you have in mind?
Yeah. Well, another idea that we use at our house since the start of COVID is trying to actually be intentional about planning alone time as
Oh,
well.
okay.
So I think sometimes we spend so much time together these days, we kind of just get sick of each other.
Right. Yeah.
And when you don't have a whole lot of other outlets, one of the things that we try is to be intentional about just having some alone time,
Right.
to, choose an activity, choose a room of the house, take a break
Mhm.
that way. Trying not to call that quiet time for my kids, because I
Yeah.
think quiet time is now for toddlers. We don't do that anymore.
Right. Right.
But planning in those breaks, especially for my kids that seem a little bit more introverted,
Yeah.
and maybe just would enjoy that as some refresher for
Yeah.
themselves, is another thing I think that can kind of help manage some of those things.
Right. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have the micro.
Another idea I think too is just in talking about some of those, I guess, as the family therapist in me comes out, we need to, the more we can share our own feelings about the situation too, right? Like,
Right. Yeah.
I'm not necessarily happy about being home all the time either. Or, I wish we could have friends in to play as well.
Yeah. Great.
Those kinds of things, I think, um, just help our kids to feel like we understand where they're coming from
Yeah.
with those feelings as well.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
does that alone time include that really exciting looking art table that you're at, or what
It can, yeah. So yeah, that was another idea I was going to share. My girls love to do art. That's an activity that we love to do together. And we just continue. YouTube has endless amounts, I feel like, of tutorials. And so, I mean, if we can't get out to classes right now, that's something that we try to build in, and they can do that alone, or we do that a lot together as well.
Yeah.
One of the activities actually we just started doing is some calligraphy practice,
Oh,
which is an idea I wanted to bring. So this is something that's new to us as far as the art goes, but we just were out at Walmart and picked up these little calligraphy pens. And again, the tutorials, like they just print them off and they're like
yeah.
tracing and kind of learning this like kind of fun cursive. I don't know if you can see
Yeah,
that.
that's
It's really
great.
great. But again, just, that's a free printout. And I think we paid like $6 or something for some calligraphy
Yeah.
pens. So, I think trying something new kind of helps alleviate that boredom a little bit too. So, we're trying to find these ideas where we can. And
Yeah.
yeah.
What a great idea. Yeah. Try something different even within the art world. I hadn't thought of calligraphy, but that's the
I wouldn't have either, in all honesty. It's not something I would have said was, up our alley, but we just saw the pens. It was kind of an impulse buy, and the girls have had a lot of fun with them. So
that's great. Fantastic.
yeah.
So a couple of ideas, a little bit of structure in the day. Everyone goes outside or everyone does screens.
Mhm.
Trying to find something new, do some art, that kind of stuff really helps with kind of finding our way or continuing to find our way through this. And especially this week when we're not going on March break,
Yeah.
to find some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we just have to push through till April, I guess, right?
Only 4 more weeks. You can do it,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much, Sarah, for chatting with me today. This was great. And I think these are fantastic ideas, ones that I'm going to go and try with my kids. So thanks a lot.
Yeah. You're welcome.
All right.
You're welcome. It was great to see you.
For sure. Talk to you again soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.